Hi, I'm Larry McAtee, Ward 3 City Council. What a privilege it is today during our Christmas season to have Pastor Jason Gaddis from the Southwest Baptist Church with us as our guest. And Pastor, so great to have you take time out of your schedule to be with us this morning.
Thank you very much. Glad to, Larry. Sure am.
Now, you were telling me before we got on the screen that you're an Oklahoman by choice and not by birth.
That's right.
How about giving our viewers just a little brief biographical sketch of you?
Sure. Yeah, I was born in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is south central Kentucky. Our claim to fame would be that we're the home of the Corvette, just unique there to the city. And my dad was a lineman for the city there, and my mom, and I'm very thankful for them, Ray and Patty Gaddis. And so was born there in 1976 and raised there in Kentucky. It was a great upbringing, had a wonderful home church, Grace Baptist Church of Bowling Green, Kentucky, and my pastor Marvin Carson there just was a tremendous influence in my life, as well as others that were involved in my upbringing there. And then I was saved at the age of 8, April 1st, 1984. Came to know Christ as my personal Savior at that time. And then later on, God called me to preach about age 15, and I started preaching along about then, 1991, and then graduated high school in 94, went to Bible college in Springfield, Missouri at Baptist Bible College.
So you began to move west, and then you continued your move west by coming into Oklahoma City, and that was back in?
Moving here in 2003. Yes, sir. Yeah, I thought at the time that God was leading us to missions, going to Baptist Bible College, and so that's, answering God's call to preach first and foremost of all, but then the call and a prayer just about, missions and such, that brought us to Springfield, and then upon graduation, went into the graduate school there, and along about the same time started pastoring the Meadowview Baptist Church in Republic, Missouri, right outside of Springfield. Did my missions internship there first, actually, and then that developed into a pastorate. And whereas I thought that we were headed towards the mission field, God had it designed where I pastored there, and that community, loved the people there, loved that community, and then in 2002, Pastor Sam Davison, who was at Southwest Baptist Church at the time, he asked if I might consider coming to Southwest Baptist Church to work with the College of Career Age, and then also in preparation for a transition that would take place. We didn't have a timeline at that point, but that was back in 2003, so we've been here 8 years now in Oklahoma City.
Now you're in a mission field. A lot of folks don't realize where Southwest Baptist Church is located.
Yes, sir.
Your location is where?
We're at 54th and Blackwelder, so we're right between Penn and Western, of course just a little bit north of 59th Street.
And your mission field right here is real extensive. You're ministering to a lot of young people and teenagers.
Yes, sir.
And you minister to them through a...
We have a bus ministry, bringing them in. We run 24 bus routes. And so we're picking up children, age 4 and up, unless they're with a parent, of course they could come. And we have quite a few parents, families that ride as well. And teenagers, we bring a good number of young people there by the buses. As far north as about 50th Street, and very far south, and more, and from the east to the west, basically, trying to cover as much of the city as we can.
Now you also have a very active ministry with college students.
Yes, sir. We sure do. Of course, a lot of young people have grown up at Southwest Baptist Church and come through the youth department, and so we make it a very key goal of ours to try to maintain them and help them to grow spiritually. But then also in 1998, the Pacific Coast Baptist Bible College moved to Oklahoma City and became known as the Heartland Baptist Bible College. And so now there's well over 400 young people who are here, both married as well as single students who are here in Oklahoma City. They're on 10th Street between Meridian and MacArthur at Heartland Baptist Bible College. So the vast majority of them come to Southwest Baptist Church. So we'll have between 375 to 400 that attend Southwest while they're here. And so that immediately gave tremendous growth to the College and Career Department, for sure, of Southwest Baptist Church. It was already thriving, but that was just a whole new venture there.
Now, the faith community is such an integral part of Oklahoma City and what we're trying to do in moving Oklahoma City forward.
Yes, sir.
You all are situated in a very challenging area within Oklahoma City.
Right.
Your church is in a challenging area. Of course, Northwest 10th Street happens to be in Ward 3.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a very challenging area.
Right.
What are the challenges that you see from a church perspective, and how can the faith community help move us forward as a city?
Yes, sir. That's a great question. I live there in Ward 3 as well, and so I know what you're talking about. You know, we're concerned about the values that the Bible presents to us. Things that are important to God obviously are important to us. And you know, it's our own sinful hearts that lead us down a wrong road. So we do see quite a few lives that are in turmoil, individual lives as well as families. And you know, I pray that God would use us to reach families and individuals alike. But you know, I am concerned. We do see quite a few individuals that struggle, you know, with substance abuses as well as marriage problems and so forth. But you know, I'm so thankful to know the Lord Jesus Christ and what He's done in my life and what He can do in anyone's life that would come to Him by faith. And so, you know, we try to strengthen marriages and families, you know, and we stand for the traditional view of marriage as one man, one woman, one lifetime, and helping people to honor that. In fact, I think if I just gave the mission statement of Southwest Baptist Church, it might just answer that question immediately, that our mission is to, first of all, to honor God. You know, we want to honor who He is for what He has done. So we want to honor God and help people. Those two simple statements, honoring God, helping people, and in that order. And help people's lives to honor God, to put God first. And then if we do that, then it'll be a help to people. That's the natural fruit of that. But first of all, putting God first in the heart and in the life, you know. So honoring God, helping people by going across the street and around the world with the gospel. And so Southwest Baptist Church has been there for 60 years and doing just that, going across the street literally, you know, running the 24 buses, but not just that, but door-to-door visitation, trying to talk to people about the Lord. In order to see them saved and baptized and added to the church and their life begin to grow and take direction. And then also the missions program of the church is vital, you know, and we're supporting currently over 190 missionaries that are going worldwide, as well as those within our own country and within our own state, in fact, that are planting churches that are just like Southwest Baptist Church. And we are the sending church for 15 of those that are there and serving in those capacities.
Outstanding.
So it really is exciting. I'm very grateful to God for what He's allowed us to do by missions.
Now, one of the growing ethnic populations in your area of town
Yes, sir.
is our Hispanic brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir. Right.
Are you having any success reaching out to them?
Absolutely. And for that, again, I give thanks to God because several years ago, a Spanish ministry started within the facilities of Southwest Baptist Church. It began to grow, and then McKinley Avenue Baptist Church, which is just a little bit north of us at 17th and McKinley, that area had become predominantly Hispanic, and so they actually merged with our church. The members of that church, the English-speaking church did, gave us their building, and the church, the Spanish ministry moved into that building, began to grow in great ways. In fact, outgrew that building, and just about 3 or 4 years ago purchased a building right across from Grant High School, and it's called La Iglesia Baptista El Calvario, the Calvary Baptist Church. And so they're currently running about 150 to 160, somewhere in that neighborhood. And in fact, I just preached a youth rally over there a couple weeks ago, and a lot of young people and a lot of young families. So a lot of exciting things going on there. I'm very thankful for that, you know, for the opportunity to reach that community.
So what I hear you saying is that the mission, bringing hope and help
Yes, sir.
to people. You're bringing that to the folks that you're bringing in through your bus ministry.
Yes, sir.
You're ministering to college students.
Yes, sir.
You're ministering to the neighborhood.
Right.
You're also now ministering to the Hispanics.
Yes, sir.
If you had to sum up a message for Oklahoma City citizens
Yes, sir.
and this population of people for this Christmas season, real briefly, what would that message be?
Okay. I just preached it Sunday night.
We don't have 45 minutes
I understand
now.
that. Yeah, no, I didn't quite either. But Jesus said, "To this end was I born, and for this purpose I came I into the world, that he might bear witness of the truth." And the truth is that the reason Jesus came was because we had sinned against God. We broke God's commandments, but that God loved us. And while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So the whole purpose for his coming was for our salvation, that we might be saved from the penalty of sin and the power of sin, and then ultimately someday even from the very presence of sin, that he would take us to heaven to be with him and to sing praise and give honor to him for eternity. And so that is the true purpose and meaning of this time of the year, is that God became flesh and dwelt among us.
Now, as we move from the Christmas season with that help and hope that we're talking about, and looking at the challenges of 2012, and I know a lot of your folks out there, like a lot of folks in Oklahoma City, are facing some very severe challenges.
Sure.
You've talked about addiction,
Right.
And also, of course, we've got the economic conditions.
Right.
What would be your message for our families and our citizens for 2012?
I believe the message would be to honor God, which means then, of course, that you've got to know God. And that's the purpose even of our service, is to help people to know God. And if you know him, and of course he knows you, then you can come to a place of salvation through Christ and him alone, and then to begin to put him first. And I've found personally in my own life, as well as in the lives of others, that putting God first begins to line every other area of life up around who he is, because he's the creator and the Redeemer, and it only makes sense that life would work the way that he designed it. And so that's what God has done. He's worked to bring us back to where he had started in the Garden there of Eden, and bring us to a place of relationship with him that would make a difference in people's lives.
Well said.
Thank you.
Pastor, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you very much.
You know, I'm reminded of a quote that I heard our mayor, Mick Cornett, give a number of years ago when the NBA was first planning to come with the Hornets to town. He said that Oklahoma City is a faith-based community that dreams big dreams, but rolls up its sleeve and works hard to achieve them. And we really appreciate what you and the other faith-based members of our community are doing, coming alongside and helping move Oklahoma City forward.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
And,
appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Wonderful.
And citizens, this time of the year, let's think about the true meaning of Christmas and the challenges that face us in 2012, and think about what Pastor Gaddis has shared with us. May God bless you, and may you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for watching.